Okay guys, here I come again. Today this evening I also would like to look into Ethereum because one of our member asked for it. Though I have no interest in Ethereum, I only have interest in BTC, but I will be looking at Ethereum right now. So yeah. Alright. So looking from the monthly time frame, I will be marking out the points that is of more interest to me, which are the major areas of highs and lows. Alright, so what I am going to mark out now is this, and I will call that my external high. Most of you who got my Udemy course already know what I explain about this. These are the major areas where we have in liquidity. That is the major buy stop looking from the higher time frame. We have this, and that low we will call it an external low. That is the major area of sell stop that we have. Put that at the bottom. Alright, so look very closely, very clean and clear. You can see that we are inside this range high and this range low. That is our daily range. If I move to the 3 months time frame, you can actually see it that we are inside this high and this low. 6 months time frame, we are inside this high and this low. 12 months time frame, compressed it the more, so we'll be going back to the monthly time frame. And what I want to show you, or I will go to the 3 months time frame. Alright, so what I want to show you is swing highs and lows structures. Alright, so now from this point we traded higher and we have this high, we trade lower, we have this low. Now when we see this low, what comes into our mind, my mind, is that I will expect it to go for this high to give us a new high. You understand? But in most cases they always get, in most cases there is a failure swing that might be created, and that is the failure to go for the high. So this right here is what we call a failed high, but I will not label that as a failed high, or I will not call it a failed high yet, for the reason that we do not have a structural break. Alright, so we can now go back to the monthly time frame where things get clear. Right here we have liquidity pool, because that is a relative high. Okay, let me put that as capital letter. Alright, so this external high was protected right here by with price not going for the high. So looking at this, zoom out, we trade high, we trade low into fair value gap that was not respected that much, right? So now looking at this is my low, this is my high. These are internal structure, alright, internal liquidity. Okay, so that is my high, that is my low. We violated this fair value gap from here, sweep this high right here, we trade lower, and I'll be expecting it to give me a new high so that it can go for this high, but in this case it just tapped that high, giving us an equal high, then it trades backwards. Alright, it trades backwards. Now when it trades backwards, what I see right here is it's hunting this low, All right, so that is a sweep of internal range liquidity. We had that sweep right there. So my idea is that since we have this failed high, I am watching Ethereum to go and sweep liquidity resting on this low. Alright, so that is what I am watching out for it to take liquidity from here, sweep it, and we find its way to wherever it wants to go. It could continue going bullish because the last area of inefficiency that we have is right here, which is the fair value gap resting below that sell stop. Looking at the 6 month time frame also, so when price gets there we get to look for confirmation. But let me focus on what happened right here. Alright, so we go down to the weekly time frame. This is an area where price swept liquidity of a low sell stop. I forgot this doesn't minimize anymore. Alright, so we have that sweep right there. Okay, and from what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing something like a swing low, and now I have to pay attention for the price of Ethereum to go to this high that we have right there. Looking at this, I can possibly see an area for it to kind of like sell from. Alright, so now I am paying attention for it to go and be drawn to these buy stops resting on this high, because right here I can't see anything where Ethereum could sell from, because we have filled up every possible area that is supposed to sell from, which is areas of fair value gaps. You can see how we trade backwards into the fair value gap, we trade lower, we also trade backwards again, and it seems like this area of inefficiency will not be respected. So the market will balance the sell side inefficiency, and once it is done balancing it, we'll be anticipating it to go for the buy stop resting on that high, and then we'll be watching to see what happens if it will start to print a bullish structure, like starts to print a higher high and higher low. So once it breaks this high, I will be looking forward for all the blocks, fair value gaps, where it trades into and starts to print that bullish trend. So I would say, alright, we have shifted from a bearish market to a bullish market. But if I see something like a hunt, then I'm not fully confident about it going bullish yet, but we'll be looking at that because I can actually see it trying to play around here. So we are not yet bullish until we see that structural shift. Alright, so for now this is still bearish, looking to see how price will play around this inefficiency when balancing it. And looking at this, I can also see that it's been trading on that trade line, right? So we're having that pool of liquidity resting on these highs, and it's kind of like trading in a channel. So we'll be looking forward to see if it breaks out of it, because we have taken the sell stop resting on this low. Alright, so this is the 4 hour time frame. The 4 hour time frame showed a hunt on this low, trades higher, trades into inefficiency, trades around, then we now again possibly trade higher into that inefficiency. So this looks like a bullish structure is starting to print on the 4 hour time frame, and it could possibly use this. Alright, this high, low, high, we're watching forward to see it give us a new low that is a higher low, and I will now say, alright, it will use this structure that is trying to print, this bullish structure is trying to print, to trade out of this sell side inefficiency, and then possibly and then go bullish to be drawn to the liquidity resting on the high, because this is our 4-hour daily range. This high and this low, you can actually see it respecting that discount. It trades into the discount, respect the Fibonacci discount level, and is finding its way into the equilibrium. And once it trades out the equilibrium, we'll be seeing it going into premium and be drawn to the buy stop resting on the high. So that is all I can explain right now for Ethereum until I see my daily time frame structural shift and bullish printing for Ethereum, before I'll be looking forward to see it go to the buy stops, to the buy side liquidity pools resting on this high. For now, maybe only targeting this high. If I were to trade, I will patiently waiting for that 4-hour retracement, and we target that high as a profit target. Yes guys, so that is all I can explain right now for Ethereum. I still have eyes to see. I still have eyes on this liquidity resting on this sell stop. So that is all I can say for now guys. So see you guys later on. Take care and be safe.